See how the fuck this shit works.
Well, shit. I think it's only right while your camera loads, we can probably just take a 30-second, maybe a minute moment of silence. Insert fucking bugle. Oh, wow. Check this out. Is this like a Riverside intro for us?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host of the show, Stevie J. The Loop.
Yo, I love the tag on the hat.
Like that? What's happening, my man?
I also keep a tag on the hat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's
what I'm talking about, brother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Both Ends of the Table. I am your host, Stevie J, and my co-host to the side of me here is The Loop. How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. I shouldn't say. That's such a generic answer. I'm doing very okay today, sir. It's been an eventful day.
It has been an eventful day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
nonetheless, we're here. We're alive. Thank God. Ready to bullshit and talk about shit.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, I say we just go ahead and just jump right into it. My bad. I kind of messed up my words there, sir. I apologize. But hey, so first week of football is completed officially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 is over. And man, what a thriller of a weekend of football that it was.
Bro, we were definitely spoiled this week with football.
I mean, just crazy, right? I mean, season opener jumps off with the Cowboys versus the Eagles.
Great game.
That great game, right? Eagles came out with the dub there, followed by a Brazil episode, right, with the Chargers and the Chiefs. And man, what a game that was.
Another great game.
Justin Herbert just announcing to the world that I have arrived.
I'm here to stay.
You know?
No, I'm arrived. We'll see. We'll see about stay.
He's arrived, right? Because he's been in the league now for a few years, right? Followed that by Saturday with some great college football games. And then Sunday night, man, well, I should really, let's back up here. Sunday, during the day, we get spoiled with the Aaron Rodgers Revenge Tour.
Yes.
Right? We got a couple of good clips from that, right?
Yeah, that was a noon game. So had me going at noon, just all amped up.
And man, what a statement that the Jets put up too. The Jets with the very shocking performance.
Competitive,
right? I don't think anybody expected that from the Jets.
No, I did not expect that game to be that competitive, knowing that what the Steelers defense can bring to the table. Was not expecting it.
Yeah, so very interesting game there. When that game was over, I was immediately thinking like, okay, game of the week for sure.
For sure.
But then we just get this beautiful performance by Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Bro, Buffalo Bills versus the Ravens.
That was
rematch from the playoffs last year. It's like, holy hell.
Bro, but we can't even skip to that game. That was the best game of the night. But let's go in order. Let's go from the Steelers versus Jets to the Packers versus the Lions, bro.
Yes, Packers. What an amazing performance they put on.
That game was insane. That was my day.
A shocking day for the Indianapolis Colts, the way they just steamrolled over the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
right? And then we capped off the night with the Buffalo versus Baltimore. What a thriller that was. It was, down to the wire. I mean, had everyone on the edge of their seats. That easily topped the Jets game versus the Steelers as the game. That was possibly the game of the year already in week one.
But everyone's comparing it to the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Rams that one year.
Yeah.
Granted, that game was a higher scoring game, but this game, they just felt so much more intense. And it looked like they were in midseason form already. Like, that's what was crazy. It looked like they were battling for a playoff spot. Like, here we go. Yes. Conference championship game. Like, let's do it. Like, oh.
Yes, it definitely felt like it had playoff implications to it, right?
Yeah, that game, that was so good, man. That's all.
And then we finish off the week, right, with Monday Night Football. Great game. You got J.J. McCarthy making his official NFL debut, first start with the Minnesota Vikings. And then you got Caleb Williams, right, with the revamped Chicago Bears with their rookie head coach, Ben Johnson.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're going to start off here, folks, is we want to go ahead and start off with both quarterback performances from J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. But we'll start with J.J. How do you think he did? How would you grade his performance?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Stevie. I'm not going to lie to the folks either. I fell asleep at third quarter of that football game.
Oh, man.
But I did go back and I did watch some highlights. What I missed, and from what I saw, and then the highlights after, I don't think he did too bad. Honestly, he did pretty well. I wouldn't say he did terrible. He didn't do horrendous. He didn't do great. Let's give him an average 5.5 out of 10 for his first start.
Yeah. So let me give you a stat line real quick. J.J. McCarthy finished 13 of 20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, when he was throwing the ball, I thought some of the passes he was making were very sharp and accurate. As far as decision making, didn't seem too bad. I really don't know anything about him, so that was my first time ever actually seeing him play. He really didn't give me pretty big rookie vibes, honestly, or first time vibes. But like I said, I didn't catch much of that game, so I can't give you my overall performance of what he truly did. But what did you think?
Well, I think he showed us a lot, right? So when we look at his performance, I feel like we saw a rookie quarterback, because essentially he still is a rookie because he never played his rookie season, right? But
yeah,
I feel like we saw a rookie quarterback quite literally just grow up in a matter of 3 quarters, right? Because he started off the game, I mean, it was very shaky. The first half, he finished the first half 7 of 12 for 48 yards. He had the interception plus the pick 6, right? What I like most is right after that pick 6 is that KOC and Justin Jefferson immediately walked over to him on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
Comforted him, talked to him. I don't know what was said. The only thing that I can think of is that it's like, hey, brother.
Short-term memory.
It's out. It's done, right? Every quarterback comes in here thinking that they don't want to throw their first interception. They never want to do it. It happened. It's done. Let's move forward. Let's go fucking ice this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so quite literally you saw that, right? They started establishing the run more or less in the third quarter. Fourth quarter comes around and you just see a whole different ball game. He finished that second half 6 of 8, 95 yards, 25 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 touchdown rushing. Right?
Yeah.
And you just see just a completely different J.J. McCarthy. You saw J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. Right, 2023 national championship. J.J. McCarthy arrived fourth quarter, ready to go, ready to ball, and it was just awesome to see. Right now, he still has a lot to learn, so I'm not sitting here saying that it's going to be he's a top 10 quarterback or anything like that.
Right.
But just to be able to watch a young quarterback go through those progressions, go through those trials and tribulations, go through testing his receivers, right? He wasn't trusting them in the beginning. I don't even think his receivers were trusting him either. To now, that fourth quarter, I mean, that dart to Justin Jefferson, man, double covered. You have to fit that right in the pocket, and it's like it was right there on the money. Same thing with Aaron, the touchdown pass to Aaron Jones, right? That route that Aaron Jones took, first off, that's not a typical route that most running backs are generally going to take. And it's not typically not a pass that generally goes their way, right? It's just to distract a couple of defenders.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he was wide open. JJ McCarthy gives him the shot, knowing that this isn't where the ball's probably supposed to go. But hell, you're open. I'm going to trust you. Go make a play. And he puts it right in the spot where only Aaron Jones can catch it. And they come down with the touchdown. And that's all you can ask for from a head coach, from an offensive coordinator. That's all you can ask for, is that your quarterback is willing to go and make those plays and willing to put that ball in a spot where you allow your receivers to try to come down with it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that. Overall, I'd give his performance maybe a C plus or just a solid B, because he definitely has a lot more improvement to do. But I think things look bright in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to the next quarterback, we got Caleb Williams. All right. So
Yep.
how do you think that he did? How would you grade his performance?
Again, didn't watch the whole game, but I don't know why I did 1 through 10 on the last quarterback. But yeah, I'll give him a B2, because in the beginning he looked pretty sharp. In the beginning, I was like, damn. Okay. Caleb looks good. Offense looks good. But right when I was starting to fall asleep is because I started seeing them falling apart. I saw Caleb making the bad throws. Defense wasn't doing what they were needing to do. Caleb was rushing the ball way too much. He wasn't trying to find his receivers. It looked like every opportunity he got to run the ball, he wanted to run the ball to make a statement. And there was a lot of times he had a lot of guys open. Like there was one play in specific, I don't remember what it was, but he was rushing. He was a passing play, and he ended up rushing for the first down. And he ran to his left, and there was 2 receivers open right in front of him. Because as soon as he took off, the defender pulled, and he went for like I'm gonna throw this, but then I don't know why he decided to keep it and run. Granted, he did pick up the first down.
That might have been the play where Cole Kmet was open right up the middle of the field.
I think so, because there was the running back,
and Troy Aikman was going nuts in the broadcast booth. Like, why are you not throwing it? To Cole Kmet? He's wide open in the middle of the field. I think he even says it too. He's like, he's going to go back and look at this film, and he's going to be extremely disappointed in himself.
No, I doubt it. He's going to be extremely disappointed.
Well, his final stats were 21 of 35. 210 yards, 1 touchdown. He had an 86.6 quarterback rating, 60% completion percentage.
We'll see, man. I mean, as we talked about before, we expected bigger things from him, hoping that the new head coach would be able to get him in shape. Granted, it's the first game. Now they know how they work with each other. Maybe now this is what they needed to help build more chemistry and see what he needs to dial in, because now coach knows how Caleb thinks during the game. He has live game analysts on him, so maybe he saw something.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that was a bad game, or do you think that was a bad sign from Caleb Williams?
Probably a bad sign now that you bring it up, because it's the same tendencies he had last year. So when you put it that way, it's showing that where's the growth? Where is the growth coming? What did you learn in the offseason? So yeah, I
Yes,
would say you bring
agreed.
up a valid point. It brings it would say looking like a bad sign. It's definitely looking like a bad sign right now. Like I said, let's give him the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt. Let's see what coach does after this first game, and see if he can get in the mental state that Caleb needs to get in, and be able to influence him to make decisions that they want to make for the team to win.
Now, are you saying that you would give him a pass for this week?
Yeah, I would give him. You got to give him one pass. You can't just cut it off. You can't cut it real. It's prime time. Someone like Caleb wants to show out. Um, best way to show out is to throw some sick touchdowns. But him being the dual threat quarterback that he is, he wants to be, Lamar Jackson, but his own place, he wants to be Caleb Williams. So he decided to try to show out, and it paid. And hopefully, is like I said, we'll see. We'll see how coach handles it. I just want to see how coach handles it. I'll give it maybe. Let's give it the first 5 games. Let's see
The
5 games.
first 5 games for what?
But let's just see how Caleb, where Caleb's at. Couple home games, couple away games, but at least you gave him a chance.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it as a bad sign. So I agree with you on that regard. I'll take it as a bad sign. And you said a couple of things that stood out there, right? That, I kind of wanted to make from my own point as well. His tendencies last year his issues last season was that he was holding the ball for too long, right? He was very indecisive with the football. He would always try to go and try to extend those plays, kind of like how he did with college. I mean, that's what made him the quarterback who he was. That's why he was this first overall draft pick, very highly regarded quarterback coming out of college football, was because his ability to extend plays, make the awkward throws, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
However, what everybody was saying about him was that how is that going to translate in the NFL? Because it's okay. You can extend plays in college because guess what? These college players, not every single one of them is going to make it to the NFL.
Right.
This isn't the only thing that they do in the world, right? They have school, they have plans, they have goals, they have dreams. So not everyone's dream is to make it to the NFL, albeit you would think that it is, considering that you're playing D1 college football. But
Right.
that's not always the case. It doesn't always roll that way. So guys start looking at other things that they have to do. Well, again, nonetheless, it doesn't. How is it going to translate to the NFL? And the reality is that it never did.
Yeah.
Right. His ability to extend the play exists. Right. You said it yourself. He escaped the pocket. He was rushing the football. And albeit, I mean, boy, he is fast.
Yeah.
Right.
He really is.
He is very fast.
He's long strides.
Yes, he is very fast. However, it is no good if you can't finish the play. It's no good if you don't give your receivers a chance, right? Especially if you don't even win the game. It's all for nothing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I take it as a bad sign. I don't give him a pass either because, again, this was a repeat of how his season went last year. You've already gone through your rookie year. You're in your sophomore year. You're supposed to make those improvements, right? We're supposed to be able to see the progression that you make from year 1 to year 2. There should be a jump. And the reality is that we didn't see it in game 1. And that game gave me very little confidence that I'm going to see it in game 2 or so forth. And so for that matter, I don't give him a pass. Now, he started off hot, like you said, right? He went 10 for 10, scoring a touchdown on the opening drive. So it looked great. However, what a lot of people don't understand is that just like in college, it's the same as in football or in the NFL. Right? The first few plays, whether it be 10, 15, 20, however many they choose to do, they're all scripted plays. These are all plays that they've practiced throughout the week because what every team tries to do is they try to come in with the specific amount of plays that's going to jumpstart the offense.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to get their guys in rhythm. And it's generally designed about getting every single person a touch of the football. Right? Theoretically, if their routes go the way that they think they're going to go. It's to get them the football. So if you think about it, 10 out of 10 is how he started off. Those first 10 plays might have been all scripted. Most likely they probably were all scripted. But the rest of the game, he goes 11 for 25. And that's where the question comes into play, right? The first 10 out of 10 completions,
Yeah.
most if not all of those would have been scripted. After that, the plays are called in real time. So he doesn't know what play is going to be called up until he gets it in his earpiece, and at that point, you got to run the play and you got to find the open man.
Yeah.
So the quarterback has to make that decision on where to go with that football. And that's the problem, is he's very indecisive with where to go with the football. He had DJ Moore running wide open up the sideline. All he had to do was place that ball at the corner of the end zone, and it's a wrap. But he doesn't see it in time.
Yeah.
He can't recognize the coverage quick enough. He gets the ball out late. And not only does he get it out late, he sails it 5 yards over DJ Moore and 5 yards outside the sidelines. And I'm sorry, man, like, you cannot do that. In a situation like that, you have to hit him wide open. You have to come away with points right there.
Yeah.
Same thing when he's trying to rush the football or when he's trying to scramble out of the pocket, right? And he's trying to throw that ball out of the end zone. I mean, but dude, he's already damn near on the floor, and you're trying to throw that football. You're looking like Will Levis when you do that, but he gets flagged for intentional grounding, and ultimately you lose a down, and then it forces you to kick a field goal a lot farther than what you initially would have had to. And your kicker ultimately ends up missing it, and you don't score those points.
Yep.
So again, it's decision making, and that's what it comes down to. Those were the questions that we had of him last season, and now it's continuing on to this season.
And like we said in one of our first episodes about his film study, that just goes to show that maybe that hasn't even improved. He's probably not in the film room, because if he's having trouble reading these defenses, what has he been doing this whole offseason? I mean, you got a new head coach, but defenses are still the same. Like, you're going to read a defense, you're going to read a defense. Watch whatever you can, learn whatever you can.
Yeah, and my opinion too is that as much as some people want to maybe blame Ben Johnson for this, saying that he's got somewhat of the blame, sure, he's got somewhat of the blame, but how can you blame him when the plays that he's calling has players wide open and Caleb is just not hitting them?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but that's not on Ben. If Ben's calling a great game, he's calling great plays, and the receivers are open, and it's just the quarterback is not delivering the football where he's supposed to, when he's supposed to, you can't blame Ben for that. You have to put that on Caleb. So while, yes, there are some improvements that Ben can do, but Caleb needs to own up a lot of the blame for that game that they lost right there. Giving up the lead the way that they did, the way they just completely fell apart the second half, there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, that was terrible. That's why I fell asleep. Lost interest. Tired. But, hey, so that brings up a point. Because I think the other day you said, like, you prefer a dual threat quarterback over a pocket passer?
No.
Didn't you say that the other day?
No, I said that's what most teams prefer these days, is they prefer dual threat quarterbacks over pocket passers. But
I don't.
What it is that these quarterbacks today, a lot of them are dual threat quarterbacks. They can run, right? Look at Jaden Daniels. Look at Lamar Jackson. Well, just the athleticism in general of just athletes today is just unreal, right? 20 years ago, this was unheard of.
Yeah, they would be playing wide receiver.
Actually, I shouldn't say that, because 20 years ago is when Michael Vick showed up, right?
Shit. So yeah, you're right.
But that was the first of its kind. Michael Vick was one of one back then. No one had ever had a dual threat quarterback like that, and so people calling defenses against him, they know what the hell to do, right? But nowadays, there's Michael Vicks all over the place. Like I said, I just rattled a couple of them off.
Yeah.
Caleb is a dual threat quarterback. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. These are all dual threat quarterbacks. I mean, that's just a few that come off the top of my dome.
And
there's more out there.
You know what makes all those people? You know why you named all those people as good dual threat quarterbacks? It's because they're all patient before they become the dual threat quarterback.
Correct. And that's the part that I was talking about.
Caleb rushes
Is
it.
that some of these quarterbacks like Caleb
Tua
are not patient enough to sit in the pocket first.
Yeah.
Sit in the pocket first and then go, right? These dual threat quarterbacks are real quick now. Some of them are. They're real quick to just escape the pocket first pressure, first sign of pressure that they see.
Mm-hmm.
They're just immediately running for their life.
Yeah. And that's what, like you said, you can't just because you got away with that in college, you can't get away with that in the NFL. You got to think of it.
Correct.
The NFL
these are
is 1% of college players. It's the best.
But also, too, you have to understand, too, that in the NFL, that's all these motherfuckers do.
Yeah. It's the 1%.
Right? These guys have mouths to feed. They have people that they're responsible for, where if they don't play here, they don't have a job. They're not getting paid. They have responsibility. So they take this shit seriously.
Yep.
And they dedicate their life to this craft. It takes a special skill to be in the NFL.
Yeah, and then you're not playing, college players. How are they? 20, let's say 24-year-old college player. How much football experience does he really have? And then you come to like a veteran linebacker. Let's say this linebacker has 10 years experience and he was the best in college. Like, well, guess what? There's 10 more of him on the field now. Like, that's what you're going up against in the NFL. You're not playing kids. You're playing grown men with real life experience.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That have bills to pay. And a man who's got mouths to feed is a dangerous man. You know what I mean? Because he's got kids that he's got to look out for. He's got priorities, man. And that makes him very dangerous.
Yep.
So anyways, let's move on. Let's get out of this segment here. I think it was a great segment, good talk. But let's move on, right? So we talked about the Indianapolis Colts, coming out with that shocking win. What was it, 33-8, completely blowing out the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Miami, if you recall, towards the end of the season, Tyreek Hill had walked out more or less on the team on the last drive of the last game.
He left the stadium,
a lot of eyebrows got raised from that. Yeah, he completely walked away, went into the locker rooms while the team was still out there on the last game. And so that sparked a lot of interest in the media towards the offseason. And then from what everyone was saying coming into this season was that, how's that relationship going to be with Tua and Tyreek? Is Miami going to trade Tyreek? What's going to happen with that? Are they able to repair the relationship? And of course, they hit the media and everyone's saying, Tua saying, "Oh, we're good. Me and Tyreek are good. He came over to my house for a family barbecue. He brought his kids. He came in and hang out with my kids. Something that he's never really done in the past, right? So showing some improvement there. Great, cool. However, that did not correlate on the field. So we obviously have some shit going on in Miami. There's obviously some struggles going on there. My question to you, though, is, right, somebody posed the question about even potentially Tua getting traded out of the team. Now, I personally don't see that happening, but I just want to kind of get your take on that. Who do you think goes first if somebody goes? Do you think it's Tua or Tyreek?
So what I've been seeing a lot lately, and I can see this happening, Tyreek to the Steelers.
I've been seeing that too.
And I think that's a really good possibility. I think he would fit really good there, going on alongside DK Metcalf. That would be, I think. So yeah, I think because I don't think Tyreek Hill wants to be there anymore with or without Tua. You could trade Tua now. I think he still doesn't want to be there. So, therefore, I see Tyreek Hill being gone first. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that Tyreek gets traded first out of there. Where he goes, I have no clue. I did see the Steelers kind of get tossed around. I believe yesterday or today his name got tossed around with the Steelers. But then there's a lot of reports coming out that Miami's not interested in even actually trading him.
Wow.
You know, apparently they've gotten some phone calls in the offseason, obviously due to the whole incident that happened in the last game. They got calls in the offseason about trading Tyreek, and Miami completely shut the door on all of those phone calls. So I don't know. I personally, I think Tyreek is going to get traded. I think he gets traded more or less by like week 3 or week 4, week 5,
Yeah.
somewhere between there. Um, I think he gets traded again. Where he gets traded to, I don't know. Um, I did see another name get tossed around, the Buffalo Bills. His name got tossed around the Bills, although I don't know what their cap space is and who they'd have to give up for that. I would assume that they're just going to do draft picks and potentially go for another rebuild, unfortunately.
That'd be scary, dude.
I think the Tua experiment ends this season, honestly. But I also think that the Mike McDaniels experiment goes too.
Yeah.
Chris Grier, I'm not sure. I think he stays, but I think Mike McDaniels goes.
I can see that. Like I said, I believe I said it before. Mike McDaniel seems to have a big personality, and it just keeps getting bigger. And I think that's just getting in the way of what's going on. So I think I could definitely see him going out the picture.
Yeah, well, and the reason I say McDaniels is because he holds a lot of the blame to this as well, too, right? I mean, dude, they look terrible. They didn't even, I watched the game. They did not even look prepared. They didn't look prepared, nor did they look like they wanted to be there. And that says something. When you can visually see that from the field without actually having to interview the players, they literally look like they did not want to be there.
Yeah, that's fall back.
And that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign if you're a coach, because that falls directly upon you.
Yeah.
Right? That shows your inability to fire up your troops, to galvanize your troops, to get those guys ready to go to war week in and week out. You know, you have the entire offseason to figure this whole thing out. And not only that, but then your play calling was just god awful.
Mm-hmm. And I think Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McDaniel. I think he's trying to be like that new age type of parent, but like coach to the team, and that shit just doesn't work. He's trying to be all too much like friend. I'm cool. I'm young. I'm hip. I'm this. I'm that. But then you got like your Sean McVay.
He's too nice.
You have your Sean McVay and fucking in the Rams, just as young, just as cool, but disciplined, stern, fucking knows how to get his guys riled up and actually proving something. That's how I see Mike McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have two type of men. You have him, and then like I said, you have McVay. I believe they're the same age.
Yeah, more or less.
More or less.
And they all more or less come, you know, all these guys once upon a time were on the Washington Redskins back when they were the Redskins, right? When RG3 was the quarterback, you had Kyle Shanahan, you had Mike McDaniels, you had Sean McVay, right? And so they all kind of come from that same similar kind of coaching tree, if you will. And you said it perfectly, right? That McVay is just as cool, just as young, just as hip, but very disciplined, whatever. Same thing with Kyle Shanahan. Right?
Yeah.
I know we were going to talk about this here in just a bit, so might as well just jump right into it, right? The 49ers. They have some concerns right now. But outside of the injury concerns, you know, to kind of relate to what we are just talking about with being stern and disciplined, they just released Jake Moody. Now, Jake Moody had a missed field goal. He had a missed field goal this week, along with a blocked field goal. Both were which very needing field goals that they needed to have, that would have won them the game had both of those been made. But unfortunately, one was missed, one was blocked. And Shanahan just pulled the trigger on him and said, "You're out."
I thought they did win.
Now, I did some research in that. No, I don't think so.
They beat the Seahawks, right?
Am I wrong about that?
They played the Seahawks?
They did play the Seahawks, and then hell, maybe I could be wrong about that. San Francisco is okay. You know what? Actually, that is my apologies. They did win the game, so that's my fault. I misspoke there. So they did win the game, but nonetheless, he still missed the field goal. He still had the field goal blocked. And so he went ahead and just kicked him out, said, "You're gone." Now, again, I was doing some research on that whole situation. Apparently he went 10 of 34 on field goals last season.
Holy what?
In certain clutch. Yes.
Oh.
Now that also needs to be clarified, but I did read that on online.
That is an insane stat for a kicker. You don't hear misses like that much. Damn. I mean, the last kicker I can remember that missed that much was the kicker for the Texans before we got Fairbairn. I don't remember his name, but that dude was garbage.
Yeah, actually, and you know what? I actually took a picture of it because I was pretty shocked about that. It says, since the 49ers made him the third-round pick in 2023, Moody has struggled with his accuracy. In his rookie season, he missed 4 field goal attempts, including 3 under 50 yards, and went 60 of 61 on PATs. He struggled mightily in 14 games last year, he missed 10 out of 34 field goals. So that's what it was. So he missed 10 out of 34 field goals.
So 24.
And 1 PAT.
Damn.
So he went 24 for 34 on field goals.
What is that, like 70 something?
So again, it just correct. But you were drafted in the 3rd round. And that's the biggest thing, right? When you're drafted that high as a kicker, yes, very high for a kicker. When you're drafted that high, that means you got something. But unfortunately, it didn't translate into the NFL, so they had to pull the trigger and get him gone.
I wonder what it is. It's probably it's just that much faster in the NFL and bigger guys. That's scary. Yeah. It's a scary job for a kicker.
But so on the same note, on the same topic with the 49ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a couple of injury concerns. So I believe it was either yesterday or today they put George Kittle officially on the injury reserve, which means he's going to have to miss 4 games, bare ass minimum, right? On top of that, you also have Brock Purdy that's dealing with a left shoulder injury. So my question to you is are you concerned with the 49ers, or do you think that they'll make it through the next 4 games without Kittle just fine and still have a chance to kind of compete for a playoff spot? If you look at their upcoming schedule, they're going to play at the Saints. They're going to play versus the Cardinals at home. And then they have the Jaguars at home. And then they're going to go up against the Rams at the Rams Stadium.
So not the toughest schedule.
Those are the next 4 games.
Not the
toughest schedule.
Not the toughest schedule, but so far the teams that were named haven't, and given granted it's the first week, they all look really well. And they're all, for the most part, you got the Saints. I can't think of any injuries right now. I think everyone's healthy, good to go for them. Cardinals, same thing. Jaguar, yeah. So I think they're going to struggle for sure, because last year they ended on a pretty rough note without Kittle. If I remember correctly, Kittle was out last year towards the end of the year, and they were struggling because Brock Purdy had no one to throw to, only Samuels. But even at that, he was a coin flip at the time too. Ew. They could possibly go in the first 5 games. They can either go 3-2 or 2-3.
Yeah. And so just to kind of give you a lengthy list of injuries that they have, but the most notable ones, right? So Nick Bosa, it's a non-injury related, but he's resting. So he didn't practice today. You have Jawan Jennings that has a shoulder problem. Christian McCaffrey with the calf. Brock Purdy's dealing with the shoulder and a toe injury. I forgot to mention that. Trent Williams didn't practice today. He's resting due to a knee injury. Jordan James, running back, is dealing with the finger issue. He was limited in practice today. And you have Mac Jones, who also has a reported knee injury, but he did practice today. So he's going to be their backup quarterback. Most likely. He's going to be the quarterback to start week 2.
Really?
Now, if there's one thing that I do know about Kyle Shanahan and the way that he operates his offense and his team, is that it's a very quarterback-friendly style offense. So I think that Mac Jones could potentially come in there and actually steal a couple of games. I believe he could steal the game with the Saints, no problem. And the Cardinals is a toss-up. Because the Cardinals are a pretty good threat right now. They started off the season 1-0. The Jaguars, I think, is a winnable game.
Yeah.
But I think that without a doubt, you definitely need your star players to be there against the Rams. If I'm not mistaken, the Rams are a divisional opponent.
Who?
Yes. They are a divisional opponent. And so they play them twice a year. This is going to be their first matchup. You're going to be playing them away at SoFi Stadium. And so I think that you definitely need your star players to be there, albeit you're not going to have George Kittle. But hopefully Juwan Jennings will be there. You still have Ricky Pearsall. He's coming along. He had a pretty nice game. But you need competent quarterback play. So depending on how Mac Jones does, right, you may or may not need Brock Purdy for that game against the Rams.
Yeah.
But again, if you could steal 2 games out of there, which I think the Saints and the Jaguars are pretty winnable games, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to either be 2 or 3 or 3 and 2.
Yeah.
But Mac Jones.
So let's go ahead
really
and
isn't a bad quarterback to me, though. Not yet, at least. Young, some mistakes, but who knows? In the right system, he could thrive.
Well, listen, again, Kyle Shanahan's system is very quarterback friendly. If you recall, I mean, this dude literally took his team to the playoffs and was in the NFC Championship game on his with all 4 quarterbacks gone and hurt. He had Christian McCaffrey calling the shots under center, for crying out loud.
That's crazy.
I mean, that just goes to show you just how friendly his system is with quarterbacks. Now, also, too, what a lot of people don't remember and a lot of people don't recall, Sam Darnold went to the 49ers before he ultimately went to the Vikings and then shined like a light. Right? So that's something to kind of look out for.
Did he?
Because Sam Darnold was the testing. Yes. Sam Darnold was a backup quarterback 2 years ago for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy had gotten hurt. I remember this. Brock Purdy had gotten hurt like either the last game or the second to last game before the season had ended. Brock Purdy had to sit out, and Sam Darnold had to step in. Are you good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just making sure that you're good. I just want to make sure you're okay. But nonetheless, Sam Darnold stepped in when he needed to towards the end of a game, closed it out, threw really, really good. And I think that just that small little play, right, that small little film that they could get off of Darnold from the 49ers that offseason is what ultimately convinced the Vikings to go ahead and sign Sam Darnold. And then we obviously know how that all ended up.
Yeah.
So maybe we have something like that brewing again for Mac Jones. Like you said, in the right system, he could be a great quarterback. But only time will tell, right? But if he gets the nod come week 2, you got to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given.
Yep. Wow, I didn't know Sam Darnold would.
So
I learned something new.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go ahead and switch gears here, right? Because I want to go back to Ben Johnson. I want to go back to Aaron Glenn. I want to go back to Dan Campbell, and we're going to call this the Dan Campbell coaching tree. Okay. So let's look at all 3 of their performances, right? Every single one of them lost their season opener. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So you had Dan Campbell that lost to Green Bay in horrible fashion, 27-13. Aaron Glenn lost to the Steelers in fighting fashion, 34-32. And then Ben Johnson, of course, lost his matchup against Minnesota, 27-24. So between all three teams, what stood out to you the most between all three teams and their losses?
What stood out the most between all three teams? So let's see. We had the Lions.
Yes.
We had Bears. Jets. What stood out to me the most, I would say, is the Jets. Even though they lost, they still might be potentially a playoff team. Potentially. I thought they did really well, man. I was very impressed. I say potentially because it just depends on Justin Fields' consistency throughout the year. If Justin Fields can play like that against every team, then by all means they will make it. But of course, if he's just what he's shown us these past couple of years, they probably won't go far. But yeah, I'd say that's what stood out the most. That the Jets are a team in the NFL right now. I don't think you should take lightly. Could you agree with that one?
I could agree. I think the thing that the one that stood the most out to me was just the Detroit Lions game.
Yeah.
And I say that because yeah, I
okay, I see where you're going.
Again, you have a high powered offense. You have, the number one offense in the league last season. You take the league by storm over these past couple of years, right? Mm-hmm. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, right? You got Sonic and Knuckles back there. They were a force to be reckoned with. They took the number one seed, albeit that it kind of fell short due to some defensive injuries. I mean, for crying out loud, they had like 13 starters injured on the defensive side of the ball. Oh. And I don't know what team would have been able to overcome those odds like that, right? When you have that many players injured on the defensive side of the football, it's almost impossible. But nonetheless, right? So you depart from Ben Johnson, you depart from Aaron Glenn. On top of that, Aaron Glenn brings in one of your other coordinators that you originally were supposed to hire as your offensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn takes him as well, brings him as the offensive coordinator of the Jets, right? So now you're missing a lot of pieces from the coaching side of the team. And to see what we saw on that game, it was like we knew that they would take a step back, but we didn't think it was going to be that bad. Yeah. I mean, there was no creativity whatsoever. Jahmyr Gibbs had one of the rarest stat lines of all time where he caught 10 passes for 30 yards. That's an average of 3 yards a catch.
Yeah.
So that to me right there really kind of stood out. That I was just like, what?
Just check.
It's almost like the Bijan Robinson stat line that I saw. Yeah, the Bijan Robinson stat was more or less, kind of close, right? Bijan Robinson had, I don't know, was it 6 or 7 receptions, something like that? But the dude had like 100 and something. You look at his stat line, you think it's a wide receiver, not a running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn. So, just very strange, right? But again, so he's just dipping and dunking the football off to Jahmyr Gibbs, hoping that he's going to maybe get some yards after catch, which rightfully so, because Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, right? That's where a lot of their yards got generated from, was yards after catch, yards after first contact. Same thing with the wide receivers. They did the same thing. They were the number one offense last year in terms of being able to get those yards after the catch. But again, you just don't see it anymore. And it gives you pause to make you wonder, like, okay, well, who was really kind of running that whole entire organization? I'm not sitting there saying that Dan Campbell's a bad coach, but it just makes you wonder how much of an influence he really did have on the offense and defensive side of the football. It has you questioning everything.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's what stood out. And I know you could go either way because I completely agree with you that the Jets was like I said, it was a very shocking performance.
Mm-hmm.
No one thought that the Jets were going to come out looking the way that they did.
No
one did.
Yeah.
But they looked really well. They looked prepared. They looked like they wanted to be there. And my God, man, they took it to the Steelers for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, you brought up your reason was very valid. I wasn't even thinking about that. But I'll stand on mine because I gave the Jets so much shit that they were going to be shit, and they pretty much shut me up that first game. So I'll give them that. But no, dude, I think you're right on point with what you said too, because I made such a big deal about it. 33.2 points per game, 4 players over 1,000 yards from scrimmage on the same offense. Like, how do you go from that? Like, how do you go from 33.2 points a game to what did they score, like less than 15?
Yeah, they scored 13
points. That's no bueno. But you know what else I just noticed? Remember our segment a few episodes ago about all the rookie coaches in the league? We had Ben Johnson, Schottenheimer, Cohen, Moore, and Glenn. They all lost.
Really?
All of them lost. Bears lost. Cowgirls lost. The Jaguars lost. The Saints lost. And the Jets lost. You can throw Dan Campbell in there. Lions lost.
Wow.
Titans lost. Like, every new head coach, I think, lost this week. If I'm thinking about it.
Seems like it.
Wow. What a week.
What a week for football, man. Right?
Dude, I don't know. I'm just so glad I can get that excitement again.
Yeah, it was really good.
Speaking of the Jets, though.
But so Thursday you have Washington going up against Green Bay. Both of those teams are 1-0. And so just a quick take real quick, who you got winning that game? Do you think Green Bay continues their dominance defensively and puts a stop to Jayden Daniels, or do you think Jayden Daniels kind of stuns the world and opens up a can of whoop ass against Green Bay?
I love Jayden Daniels. But I think the Packers have the potential to fight for an undefeated season this year. I think they're that good. I think the defense is that good, especially with Micah. If they could stay healthy, no, I don't see Daniels getting around Micah like that. I think for Packers defense is definitely going to contain him really well.
Yeah, I mean their defense is pretty stout. They obviously showed that against Detroit, shutting down, what was the best offense in the NFL last season. And that's because they didn't lose anybody on the offensive side of the ball other than just their coordinators. You got the same quarterback, same 2 running backs, same tight end, same wide receivers, everything. And again, the stat line that they put up was just strange. I mean, when you look at the stats itself, it doesn't look all that terrible. It's just the fact that they didn't score anything. It didn't relate to any points, right? Jared Goff went 31 of 39 for 225 yards, threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 79.5% completion percentage, had a quarterback rating of 88.6. His yards per attempt were 5.8, which was, I think, a hell of a lot lower than what it was last season. I think his yards per attempt last season was somewhere north of 8, if not 9 yards. But David Montgomery, right? 11 rush attempts for 25 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 rushing attempts, 19 yards. got shut down, right? Sam Laporta, 6 receptions, 79 yards. That's a pretty good day in the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a little bit of a disappointment, right? 4 receptions for 45 yards. Then you have Jahmyr Gibbs with, again, that random stat line, 10 receptions for 31 yards. Jameson Williams, 4 receptions for 23 yards. David Montgomery, 4 receptions for 18 yards. It was just, they're just dipping and dunking, hoping that they get the yards after catch. And the reality was is that they didn't do what they normally do.
Well, so they couldn't establish any type of running game. And everyone knows, no matter how good you are at passing, if you have no type of running game, you can't win a game.
Yep.
The Packers absolutely shut down any run game that they thought of. I'm disappointed because I had Montgomery on my lineup. I was like, you know what? If you're going to start a second string running back, Montgomery is the running back to start. Because he's going to make some plays.
Absolutely.
And get some touchdowns and score some points.
Between both of them and Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones for the Minnesota Vikings, you're not going to go wrong with starting either one of those guys either. Yeah. Both of those guys are going to generate you some points. These running back duos are becoming a very popular thing.
Do you want to know my original duo that I remember growing up with? Let's see if you remember this. Aaron Foster. You know the second name? No. Ben Tate. Bro, there was one year where Arian Foster and Ben Tate, I believe Arian Foster ran for like 1,200 yards, and Ben Tate did like 900 and like almost 950. But it just seemed like you could hand the ball off to either one of them, and they were fucking breaking down the field for 40, 50 yards. What a year it was to be a Texan fan.
My guess is that was the year that they were both on the Texans. Yes.
Yeah.
Figured.
Did Arian Foster play for another team? I think he did, right? He got traded. Well, who cares?
Play for the Dolphins.
Did he? Ew.
I believe he played for the Dolphins first before going to the Houston Texans.
Foster? Oh, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's still young, only 39.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. So he played for the Texans first, then he went to the Dolphins. 2009, 2015, and then
okay.
Yeah. So I love that made me love running back duos. Shit, the Saints for the longest time had like triple threats fucking running backs, bro. They'd have like freaking Reggie Bush,
they had all sorts of shit back in the day,
Cooks, man. And like, what the hell? What you got going on?
So, well, now that we're done with the more serious segments, right? Why don't we start jumping into some of these funny deals that we got. So I guess let's start off here. Let's do FAFO of the week, bro.
FAFO of the week. You want to explain what that is?
Let's do FAFO of the week.
FAFO.
Yeah, I can explain what that is, man. It's that we all like to talk shit sometimes, right? We all like to think that we're hot shit, that we're big, that we're tough. But sometimes when you fuck around too much, eventually you're going to find out. And unfortunately for Travis Kelce, he fucked around way too much. Not only in the offseason, but also during the game against the Chargers, to the point where he had to find out because Tate absolutely gave him just a big old fat pancake slap straight to the dome. I mean, this dude pushed his fucking helmet right into his face. I mean, it was bad. I don't know if you have that film footage or not.
Let me see here.
Yeah, I don't see it here that you sent it to me.
I did, though. Send it again. Yeah, I sent it to you right after.
Let me see here.
I do my part. I promise, guys. This is not my fault. I'm not a bad partner. I promise.
All right, let me go ahead and share this here with the audiences. Oh man, it's not going to share the audio, but that's cool.
You don't need audio.
But essentially, what the ref said is because it was an open hand, that it was okay, and that he can go ahead and eat a big old fat meat sandwich. And he just goes, boom. That boy Tart was not messing around, son. Boom.
Yo, bitch. Dude, that was hard.
You know, there was a lot of people saying that you know, he might not end up getting married to Taylor Swift after taking a hit like that.
Yeah?
She gonna call the marriage off here.
Hey, what did you say? What did you say when I brought up Taylor Swift? Don't ever mention that name.
She said, I ain't fucking around with no
Don't
bitch.
ever mention that name on this podcast again. Here you are, bringing her up.
You were bringing her up in a... Here we go. You were bringing her up in a fashion that was not recommended for this show.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to make sure that we're very clear on that.
All publicity is the same, bro. Oh, so good. What are you on right now?
Trying to find the rest of them here because well, so you sent me another one, right? Because we wanted to kind of talk about the because who was the next guy that decided to fuck around and find out? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so the next guy, the guy...
Talk to me.
The next guy to fuck around and find out would have to go to a name that we've brought up multiple times already. Just so happens to be the head coach of the team I was most impressed with this week, the Jets, Mr. Aaron Glenn. He has some harsh words to say to Mr. Aaron Rodgers, and you know what? You haven't loaded up yet.
I wasn't even getting to that one just yet, pimp.
Uh-oh. What are you getting to?
I'm trying to. Hold on. I'm talking about your boy.
My boy.
I'm talking about your boy, dog. Yeah. Talking about your boy Garrett Wilson. That decided to pump up and get buck with Jalen Ramsey, boy.
Oh!
There was a double team push. Yeah.
A few moments later.
Fields deliver.
You can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Garrett Wilson could not.
They might want to check on Garrett Wilson after that hit right there.
Bro.
That's what the fuck they were saying. They were saying we might want to check on him after that play because, boy, he just got laid out like a flapjack sitting at an IHOP table on a Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Dude, he was laid on the floor for a while. That was such a clean hit. You see? That's another reason why we got spoiled, bro. When do you see a nice, legal, clean, fucking badass hit that doesn't get flagged? Like, oh, man, that was nice. That was nice. That was fun.
I mean, that was such a clean hit.
And it was such a big moment.
And that was to ice the game.
Yep.
That was to ice the game.
You know, I figured that when I flew across country on my own dime, that there was going to be a conversation. We start talking, he runs out of the room. That's kind of strange. He comes back with the GM. 20 seconds in, he goes, "So do you want to play football?" "Yeah, I'm interested." He said, "We're going a different direction at quarterback." I was kind of shocked because I just flew across country. You could have told me this on the phone. We just want to know how you want it released. Messaging. I don't give a shit about the message.
Meeting.
Oh my God.
Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
That boy Aaron Glenn said, "You want to play quarterback? Because we're going in a different direction."
Bro. That's savage, bro. You think it really went down like that?
Aaron Rodgers proceeds to throw 4 touchdowns. I mean, the Jets never argued back with it, pimp. And as far as I'm concerned, he's got no reason to lie. As far as I'm concerned, he's got no reason to lie.
Right. I mean, we got Ayahuasca Rodgers. It's a new man. Supposed to be more in touch. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. But those were the Fafos of the week. You know, we definitely got to keep that up because some of those are pretty good. Some of those are pretty funny. Public Enemy number 1.
Ooh.
Right. Newest segment that we have here. Fantasy for all the fantasy football fans. Who was the biggest disappointment for Public Enemy number 1, week 1? Who was the biggest disappointment in your eyes?
In my eyes, personally, because I had him on my team, was AJ fucking Brown, bro. He had 1 reception. What happened? He got locked down. That's what happened, bro. He got locked the fuck down by Dallas's fucking defensive backs, bro. They had nowhere to go. Jalen Hurts could not throw to him. At all. At all. At home. Prime time. To open the season. You can't get open? That's who I had.
Tell me how you really feel.
Bro, he got me like 1 point, bro. Granted, I won. I won in that league. But you like to win in a comfortable fashion. I only won by like 20 points. That's not comfortable. That's one quarterback going off. which it can happen any moment. No, I'm hot now. You got me hot, boy.
And I have to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Is he on your fantasy?
Got him hot, folks. And I have to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. 4 receptions, 45 yards. Yes, he was on my fantasy. Complete letdown, complete disappointment. Lost both of my leagues. Motherfucker.
Oh man. Again, he played a badass defense. Who knows?
Yep.
Is this going to be the year of defense?
He did. Who knows, man? But hey, it was fun. It was great. Good to see you, my man. That about wraps it up for this show right here. Both ends of the table coming to you from down under, from the dungeon. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We're not. We're just like in a couple of fucking rooms.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyways, man, it was cool. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on TikTok and please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Both Ends of the Table. And we'll see you guys soon. God bless. Thank you guys for listening and y'all have a great day. Oh, I forgot to mention, and on Spotify. Yes. Both Ends of the Table again. Thank you guys again. Y'all have a great night. Be safe. And we'll see you soon.